Boom! Berserk is back, baby, and boy, was Chapter 361 worth the wait. We get several goodies in this one, and because of it, my hype for Berserk has been successfully recharged. And that's putting it very, very lightly. This chapter was, and is, Berserk. Last time, we left off on the Skull Knight approaching Guts, and him reminding Guts what he'd told him all those months ago. What she wants might not be what he wants. A glorious cliffhanger that had me going, what the hell do I do now? The entire wait between chapters. But we're here, and so is Skull Knight. Thank God Miura didn't jump ship and swim back to Griffith's story. He knew we wanted the Guts and SK talk, and he gave it to us like the good Papa Moira-sama he is. Guts and the Skull Knight. A meeting years in the making. The last time we had this was on the freaking beach, which in real life time was like 15 years ago. Crazy. Guts turns to face the metal skeleton, and they commence their talk. I'm excited as heck. Guts is obviously curious as to why the Skull Knight is there, and Skull Knight is as cryptic as always. Due, as always, to causality. They're here together now because of causality. Great. Glad we reaffirmed that. And bam, a once-in-a-decade sight. Guts freaking smiling. How beautiful. Not just a smile, neither. A joke to lighten the mood. Guts, despite seeing his love collapse at the sight of him, cracks major wise. He's made it so far, and all in one piece. What a great reference, Guts-chan. Oh, wait, no, he was joking about the fact that he's missing an arm and an eye, and that there have only been a few scuffles along the way. I forgot how cheeky Guts can be sometimes. Nice. And then, once again, Skull Knight mentions something ominous, and we're about to find out what he means, but then out of nowhere, Gedfring shows up and cuts him off. They reintroduce, and Skull Knight, being King Geyserik, gets confirmed for a 12th time. Ged corrects himself and addresses Scully the way Scully wants to be addressed these days. I wonder if this means the Skull Knight is a relatively recent name change. He's been boinking around for a millennium, but maybe only in the past 300 years or so has he been the official Skull Knight foe of the Inhumans? Skull Knight doesn't seem to know Ged, but Ged knows him. He'd been in audience with SK when he was a child, accompanying his father, Vito. Vito. That name cannot be a coincidence. Anyway, guess it's been a while since Scully has been in Elfhell, if he only barely recognizes Gedfring. And then Guts' curiosity has finally peaked. Just how old are you, old man? Gedfring tells him it's a pointless question, given that time flows differently here. So, old is the answer, I guess. The old wizard asks Guts how he and Skull Knight know each other. Guts gives a less than glowing review of their origins. And then boom, baby, Gedfring tells of a freaking dwarf blacksmith. Remember dwarf? You know, the type of being that crafted a certain thing? A certain berserk type of thing? A certain armor that is berserk? Oh yeah. Apparently this freaking dwarf dude created both of SK's armor. I of course hope you remember that SK was the prior owner of Guts' current getup. So in other words, this dwarf is the goat of armor making. SK is like, hell yeah, this will give me a chance to fix my collar. And then we cut to, wait a second, Miura, I didn't ask for lolly witches. I wanted more macho men talking. What a mid-chapter cliffhanger to cut from. Berserk! Anyway, Morta's back. She wakes up on a tree. She sees the boys traipsing down to the dwarf blacksmith's place. She probably wishes she could be over there herself. I know I am. Oh, sick, she was wishing that. She helps Shirka fly, and they zoom towards Guts' guy gang. Morta's pretty chill with Shirka. I like their interactions. Pretty cute. Once they make their way through the canyon, Shirka comments on the change in atmosphere. Morta says it's due to some people preferring darkness to light, her teacher being one of them, as she apparently lives near here. Morta says she's never even seen SK before, so yeah, guess he doesn't come around all too often. They go deeper, and apparently they are coming very close to the Qliphoth, where everyone's favorite demon lives. Morta tells Shirka of an invasion that happened a while ago by some army outside of Elfhelm, and that these Wickermen are a result of magicifying the soldiers of that enemy army. Wicked. We get a better idea of Morta's outlook on things, which is nice. She's a lot more interesting than I expected, even if she is a cringe lolly. They come upon Morta's teacher. She scolds Morta for effing with the Wickermen all those chapters ago. Shirka introduces herself, and turns out Flora's name is fairly well known. The teacher says the Dude Bros went to the Forest of Stones, which is where the dwarf reside. Apparently Morta isn't a fan of the place. Volvapa seems funny. Crazy, kooky, evil, but not kinda witch. I'm totally into her. She laments the current situation. Flora, Skull Knight, which she seems to know better than Gedfring does, guess she's a lot older, and has actually met with Skull Knight as an adult. Shirka and Morta approach the Stone Forest's entrance. They dismount, and Barites, aka Gravity Elementals, are mentioned again. Cut back to the boys' club. Thank gosh. The guys come upon the Dwarfsmith. My god. He's beautiful. Hanar is his name. What in frick is a Magicr doing down here? Oh, spit. Hey, Scully. Hanar straight up calls him king. Epic to say the least. Hanar revels in his handiwork. SK is still attached to his armor and hasn't yet passed on, so he obviously did something right. Skull Knight thanks him and calls him friend. SK's got a real posse if you think about it. Flora was sick, this dude, him. What a squad. Hanar suddenly focuses Guts. He is surprised to see his former work before him. Seems to him like Guts has been with the armor for quite a while now. Guts, similar to his bony friend, thanks the dwarf. Hanar then says he'd like to test the armor, and strikes it without warning. The beast inside immediately reveals itself, and the chapter ends. Wow. Just wow. Guess Guts is about to end everyone's life because of that stupid, dumb dwarf. But definitely not. Hanar seems to know what he's doing. He made the danged thing after all. I'm sure he knows exactly what it's capable of. Can you guys believe this chapter? Like, for real, so many things happen. All the things, really. Most importantly, that not-so-subtle name drop. Vido? Void? Vido? Void. Yeah, guess Gedfring is the son of a god hand. He must be old as actual hell then, since I have to assume Void had this kid while he was human. Vido, the human, became Void, the god hand. And his little boy Gedfring, who sat in on his meetings with SK, grew up to be a guru of the highest caliber. And perhaps more directly important, that armor reveal. This old-ass dwarf made this berserk-ass armor, and willingly, of sound mind and body, activated it. I'm sure it'll be immediately resolved, whether it be through Shirka bursting in to save him, or Hanar shutting it down with some special method. But I'm assuming it'll lead to an arc of understanding between Guts and his beast of darkness inside the armor, Kurama Naruto style. That could be cool to see. And even moster importantly than all of that, we see Skull Knight as a Chad that rivals all other Chads, with the charisma that sees no horizons. But I guess I would expect as much from an ancient King of Kings. What a chapter. I give it a 9 out of 10 for its epic lore. Unfortunately, no clue when a new chapter is coming, but dang am I glad this one was as good as it was. Anyway, that's it. Check me out on Twitch. I play games, I talk about Berserk, this is an emote we use. And tune in 8 months for chapter 362. May the God Hand bless you with a fist bump.